We need to talk about the violence of self-improvement. Look closely at the language we use when we speak about changing our lives. It is the language of warfare. We say we're going to kill our bad habits. We say we're going to crush our goals. We talk about fighting temptation, battling addiction, and declaring war on our own laziness. We treat our own minds like a battlefield. And because we treat ourselves like the enemy, we naturally feel exhausted. We are constantly on guard, constantly under attack, and constantly afraid of losing ground. You have probably been there yourself. Think back to January 1st. You are filled with a sudden burst of energy. Often, it's just self-hatred disguised as motivation. You look in the mirror, you see everything you dislike, and you decide, everything changes today. So you go to war. You throw out all the junk food in your house. You buy the expensive annual gym membership. You download the meditation apps. You wake up at 5 a.m. You force yourself into a new shape through sheer brute force. And it works. For a little while. Maybe for 3 weeks. Maybe for a month. You feel powerful. You feel like a soldier. But biology is patient. Biology waits. And eventually, the willpower runs out. You have a bad day at work. You get sick, or you have a fight with your partner. Your guard drops just for a moment, and the old you returns with a vengeance. You smoke that cigarette. You eat that entire pizza. You skip the gym for 3 days in a row. And then comes the shame. You tell yourself you are weak. You tell yourself you are undisciplined. You tell yourself you are broken. But what if you aren't broken? What if the tool you are using is broken? In the West, we are obsessed with the idea of force. We believe that change requires pressure. We think that if we just push hard enough, we can mold reality to our will. But in Japan, they have understood for centuries that force creates resistance. If you push against a wall, the wall pushes back. If you push against your mind rebels. Today, I want to show you a different path. It is not a path of fighting. It is a path of dissolving. It is a path that understands the biology of your brain better than any motivational speaker. We are going to deconstruct the story of a man who smoked for 20 years and the monk who taught him that the secret to strength is not how hard you can fight, but how long you can sit still. Let's look at a case study. We'll call him James. James was a high-functioning executive who traveled to Tokyo for business. On the outside, James was successful, sharp, and commanded respect. But on the inside, he was a slave to nicotine. For 2 decades, his life revolved around the next cigarette. He had tried the standard Western toolkit to quit. He used nicotine patches, gum, therapy, self-help books, and aggressive self-talk. He had spent thousands of dollars trying to fix himself. But every attempt ended the same way, with a relapse followed by intense self-loathing. In a moment of desperation, while in Tokyo, he visited a quiet temple on the outskirts of the city. He managed to speak with the head monk. James admitted his failure. He looked at the floor and said, "I have no willpower. I am weak. I cannot defeat this demon." The monk laughed. He didn't offer a prayer. He didn't offer a lecture on morality. He offered a simple, terrifying instruction. He said, "The next time you want to smoke, smoke. I give you permission." James was confused. "You want me to smoke?" "Yes," the monk said, "but with one rule. Before you light the cigarette, you must hold it in your hand and look at it for 10 minutes. You must not distract yourself. You cannot look at your phone. You cannot talk to anyone. You must simply sit with the urge to smoke." This sounds easy. It is not. James went back to his hotel room. That evening, the craving hit him like a truck. His brain started screaming for nicotine. He grabbed his pack. He pulled out a cigarette. But instead of lighting it, he set a timer on his phone. 10 minutes. For the first 3 minutes, it was absolute agony. His hands were shaking. His mind was racing, making up excuses to just light it. He tried to reach for his phone to check his email, anything to distract himself from the discomfort. But he remembered the monk's rule: no distractions, just observation. So he watched the feeling. He felt the tightness in his chest. He felt the phantom taste of smoke in his mouth. He felt the anxiety vibrating in his legs. But then, around the 6-minute mark, something strange happened. The screaming in his brain got quieter. The physical tension began to loosen. The urgency faded. By the time the alarm went off at 10 minutes, James looked at the cigarette and realized he didn't really need it anymore. He put it back in the pack. To understand why this worked, we have to talk about your brain, specifically a psychological phenomenon known as the ironic process theory, or the white bear problem. If I tell you right now, whatever you do, do not think of a white bear, what happens? Your brain immediately conjures a white bear. Why? Because to make sure you aren't thinking about it, your brain has to keep scanning to see if you are thinking about it. This is the trap of willpower. When you say, "I will not smoke," you are focusing your entire consciousness on smoking. You are turning the cigarette into a forbidden idol. You are giving it power. James failed for 20 years because he was trying to push the white bear out of the room. The monk's method was different. It relied on a biological fact. A craving is not a solid object. It is a wave. Neuroscience tells us that a chemical craving peaks between 3 to 5 minutes. If you do not feed it and you do not fight it, it naturally runs out of fuel. Psychologists call this urge surfing. James wasn't suppressing the urge, and he wasn't indulging it. He was witnessing it until it dissolved. Surfing the urge is your defense. But to build a new life, we need an offense. We need to build new habits. And this is where we get it wrong again. We are addicted to the montage. We watch movies where the hero trains for 3 minutes to upbeat music and suddenly becomes a master. We want that. We want the radical transformation. But your brain hates radical transformation. Deep in your temporal lobe, there's a structure called the amygdala. It is your threat detection system. It evolved to keep you alive. To the amygdala, change looks a lot like danger. It loves homeostasis. It wants things to stay exactly the same, because same means safe. When you suddenly try to change your entire routine, when you try to wake up at 5 a.m. and run 5 miles, your amygdala pulls the emergency brake. It floods your body with cortisol, the stress hormone. It creates anxiety and fatigue. It forces you to retreat to safety. This is why you quit the gym in February. It's not because you are lazy. It's because your brain is trying to save you from the trauma of such a big change. The Japanese solution to this is Kaizen. Kaizen translates to good change, but a better translation is continuous, slow improvement. It is the art of tricking the amygdala. It is the practice of making steps so incredibly small that your fear response doesn't even notice them. If you want to start running, do not run 5 miles. Your goal for day 1 is simply this: put on your running shoes. That's it. Put them on, tie them, and take them off. Day 2, put on your shoes and step out the door. Then go back inside. Day 3, walk to the end of the driveway. It sounds stupid, doesn't it? Your ego hates this. Your ego wants to be a hero. Your ego wants to post about your 5-mile run on social media. But you must remember, your ego is an idiot. Your ego burns out. Kaizen builds neuroplasticity. By repeating these tiny actions, you are hardwiring a new neural pathway without triggering alarm bells. You are sneaking past the guards. Think of your habits like a chain. Every day you do the tiny action, you add one link. The link is small, but it is solid. Once the chain is established, then you can make it heavier. But if you try to lift a heavy chain before the links are welded together, it will break. A year from now, the person who runs 5 miles once and quits will be exactly where they started. The person who walks to the end of the driveway every day will be a marathon runner. There is one final trap we must address. It is called the void. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you successfully stop smoking or stop scrolling social media, you have created a hole in your day. You have created a hole in your emotional regulation. You didn't just smoke for no reason. You smoked to handle stress. I want to leave you with one image. In the West, when we break a bowl, we throw it in the trash. When we break a promise to ourselves, we treat ourselves like trash. We say, I ate the cookie, I ruined the streak, I might as well eat the whole box. In Japan, they practice an art form called Kintsugi. When a precious bowl breaks, they do not hide the cracks. They do not throw the bowl away. Instead, they repair the cracks with pure gold. They believe the bowl is more beautiful because it has been broken. It has a history now. You will fail. You will slip. You will smoke that cigarette or miss that workout. This is not the end of the journey. It is just a crack in the bowl.